Listen, I am seriously of the belief that a product is not sustainable unless it works well. When I'm adding something to my collection, I do not just look at how eco-friendly I think they are. I'm looking at if the price is something I can sustain long term. I'm looking at if the product works just as good, if not better, than industry standard products. And I also want to know, is this product a better choice for my home, for my body? All these things combined make an actually sustainable product because they can have all the certifications in the world. But at the end of the day, if that product is not that good or there's something better out there, then you're just simply not going to stick to it, especially if it's at a higher price tag. If you're new here, hi, my name's Alyssa, and on this corner of the internet, we talk about all things sustainability, conscious consumption, thrifting, community. So if that sounds like something you're into, stick around and subscribe, or find me on all other social platforms at New Lifestyle ABB. So without further ado, here are popular sustainable products that I don't actually recommend. Also, don't worry, very soon I'm going to be talking about products I do recommend, because next week I'm going to be filming a sustainable product empties video, aka just everything in the past few months that I have ran out of and think I might repurchase again. So subscribe, stay tuned, you might see that. Number one is bamboo to-go cutlery sets. I've been gifted one around the holidays before, but I have never actually bought one myself. And here's why. One, they just feel unnecessary. I tend to just wrap up the utensils I already have in some kind of cloth and throw it in the bag if I really need utensils. Like, that's what my mom always did with our lunches growing up. I'm just used to it. So one, like, even whenever I was switching to a more sustainable lifestyle, it's not even something that crossed my mind to purchase. But two, I do not like cleaning them. What I love about the utensils I already have is that I can throw them in the dishwasher, and these bamboo ones, you cannot do that. But also you have to keep them like perfectly bone dry. You have to make sure you set them out long enough to where they dry through and through before you put them back in their little pack. I also just hate the idea of like a porous material, like the food sitting on it, and then you stick it back in your lunchbox or something. And I tend to find that when people purchase these little to-go cutlery sets, they use them for a little while and then they inevitably kind of end up at the back of their silverware drawer or in a junk drawer somewhere. Like, I actually don't see people use them long term very often. I think this is a product that is very good at giving the aesthetics of sustainability, but at the end of the day, it is not an aesthetic. It just means being more resourceful, loving the things you have, using what you already have. And the bamboo cutlery just kind of seems like a silly little sustainability status symbol. Number two, safety razors. Number one, just to get out of the way, they scare me. I do not like the idea of using them. I've tried one before. I think they're very hard to use on thin skin or sensitive skin. You know, like when you're talking about like your knees or like your intimates. It was scary when I tried it. I tried it once and I was like, no more. My solution to that was a leaf shave razor. Now they do have a safety razor, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like their star product. It kind of looks like an industry standard razor, but it's all metal. They have quite the price tag on them for a razor, but let me tell you, I bought my leaf shave in 2020. So I was 20 years old and now I'm 25 and I'm still using it as my razor. And that pack of razor blades that it came with is still the pack I have. I haven't spent a dime on shaving since buying that razor in 2020, which is crazy because I think a little like refill pack that would last me like a month or two of my razor heads was $10. So it's definitely saved me money over time. It just depends on if you can stomach that initial cost. It was difficult to do, especially when I was 20, but something that was so worth it for me at least. Now, if you think the leaf shave razor might be a cool addition to your life, might I suggest tracking it in my Green Living Tracker. My Green Living Tracker is a 100% customizable Notion template that includes things like a mindful consumption journal where you can consciously make decisions on your purchases on a case-by-case basis. And in this tab, you can also track your future eco swap ideas so that you have them all in one place. There are many fun tools to help you live a more sustainable life in this tracker, but my favorite is the monthly pages, where each month I have themed, hand-picked educational resources and materials, including videos to watch, articles to read, creators to follow. So if you want to check it out and help support this channel, I'll link it down below. It's $5.99, and I thank you so much if you decide to purchase. Number three is compostable bandages. Now, the brand I have have used in the past is called Patch. I think a lot of people talk about these because they're the only compostable bandage I have seen. I'm not saying it's the only one that exists, but it's the only one that I've seen like in stores or advertised. And one, they just don't stick well. And poor user experience is not something you want because when you're using a Band-Aid, you don't want to be using a Band-Aid, right? So then having something that's making your life even harder is super annoying. And two, having that higher price tag compared to an industry standard Band-Aid, and then on top of it, having that terrible user experience, it just doesn't make it worth it, right? It doesn't make you want to stick with that product option long term. Also, if you're trying to live a more conscious lifestyle, to be honest, if you care about the planet and you're voting with your dollars, voting with your ballot, you know, and putting your all and care into everything most of the time, I don't care if you use a regular Band-Aid, right? Number 4 is laundry stain sticks. Okay, I'm not a complete total hater of these. I just have found out over time that I don't want to buy them anymore. I used to use them and talk about them because they are a cool swap, but they don't always work. They don't work that well. They worked on like basic stains if I got it right away, but there was a time where one of my laundry stain sticks actually left behind a new stain from like rubbing that stain stick on there. It left some type of like residue behind, and that like totally defeated the purpose of it. And here's my new solution. Honestly, whenever I get a stain, I Google how to get out that specific type of stain. I just think that one size fits all approach to stains just doesn't work in general. And usually I can treat the stain with things I have in my cleaning closet, like vinegar, baking soda, whatever. So I just think addressing them on a case-by-case basis works best for me. But I will say this, I don't have kids, so it is far less often I get stains on things. If I did have kids, I probably would own a stain stick to try that first before making some kind of potion in a spray bottle to spray on each stain. Honestly, I hope this one's not controversial because I know some people love them, but those little like loofah sponges, like the real sponges that you can like grow yourself or buy from someplace. Okay, I think they would be a lot more fun if I grew them myself, but I haven't. I've always like bought them from this local soap shop, and I've used them both on my body and I have also used them for dish cleaning and just house cleaning. Okay, so I've tried using them in all the different ways. Number one, people just tell you to wet them and they get soft. I don't think they get that soft. Not soft enough to where it like feels good on your body, that's for sure. And they're just so stiff and so hard to use. I also find that they wore out really easily. Like it didn't take a lot of use for that thing to start looking dingy. I simply found that bamboo dish brushes and other like bamboo handled cleaning brushes work a lot better for me. I think they scrub a lot better when it comes to cleaning. And then for my body, just like an exfoliating cloth works so much better than that little loofah sponge. It also just doesn't have a lot of surface area to it. So it was just a lot, okay? Reusable paper towels. Okay, I know one brand that sells these. It's like an OG sustainable brand, which is Marley's Monsters. That's the ones I have. So I'm speaking from experience using those, but I have also tried other people's and seen that they all kind of work the same. So there's typically 2 types of materials that these reusable paper towels will be. It's either like one kind of a cloth napkin type material, or 2 more this fuzzy, kind of more traditionally Marley's Monsters like thin little cloth. Number 1, they are not super absorbent, either kind. This goes for both kinds. They are very thin. They do not hold a lot of water. So if I'm trying to use them to clean up a mess, I'm going through like 3 of them. And if I'm trying to use them to dry dishes, I'm also going through like 3 or 4 of them to dry my dishes. The texture of them, that smoothness or that fuzziness, also doesn't allow for a good scrub if you're trying to use them for cleaning. And it's really just not my ideal rag for any of my cleaning or household tasks. I always dig into my rag bin instead. So my alternative to this is just simply using my rags. My cut up old towels work better than them. My favorite ones, I think they're from Full Circle. Those ones are great. But the reusable paper towels, just get some good cleaning rags. Next is reusable coffee filters and those reusable tea filters. And I'm talking about those cloth ones. Number 1, they don't work very, very well. Like I've tried the coffee one before and it takes forever forever for the water to get through it. They're just a little too thick, and two, they're hard to clean. I know that cloth tea bag one, I think Marley's Monsters has one. This is not a Marley's Monsters hate video. They are a great brand, doing great. They're like an OG, but like, man, some of their stuff just doesn't work good. The tea bags were so hard to clean. I was so excited to try them, and I was like, I cannot do this long term. I cannot use these like this. In my opinion, the metal tea strainers are going to, one, last longer, and two, work better while you're using them. And my coffee replacement is, we have that Pure Over. It's an all glass pour over system that does not require a filter. You will get little bits of ground coffee at the very bottom, but I have found that it's honestly better than some other pour over systems. You know, it's not perfect, but it works really well. It's really easy, and it's super cute just sitting on your countertop too. My very last item on the list is solid skincare. Now, I love solid sustainable swaps, right? Because they're not shipping you water, they're plastic free most of the time, and they work really well. Like, I love solid hair care, I love solid soaps, but the solid skincare, I've tried it all. I've tried the face bars, the serums, the moisturizers. I just found it has such a poor user experience. There are some sustainable skincare brands who are changing the game. Like, they are so much better than industry standard. They have done wonders for my skin. And I have this like lockdown routine, these brands that I know are always going to make something good, and none of them make solid products. I've used them in the past. I'm not even saying they're not good. Like, the products will even work. And I went through a phase where I was using like mostly solid skincare products, and I continued to use them to their entirety because, like I said, they worked. But again, it was just a poor user experience. I found myself gravitating, wanting to go back to things I had used to use. And that's not the goal, right? To go back to the industry standard products. Also, like, side note, is that even good for your skin to just like be rubbing it on your face like that over and over again? It just felt gross sometimes. But anyways, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed watching it because I enjoyed making it. And one more little shout out before you go. I have created a little e-guide called 30 Days to a More Sustainable You. It's full of 30 days of unique hand-picked challenges that you can do 30 days consecutively, once a week, whenever you have time. These are challenges to help shift you into a more conscious way of living, a more sustainable lifestyle. And no, this challenge is not just waste reduction. In fact, the idea is that you start small and then you work your way up into actual community action and making bigger impacts with the people you live by. So I have linked the full e-guide below. It is $15.99. It helps support this channel. I love talking about my e-products whenever we don't have a sponsor, which is most of the time. So if you checked it out, I'd be so appreciative. It helps keep this content free for you all. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Okay, love you.